welcome to the Rio Knits podcast. My name is Rhiannon and I'm a knitter living in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I am re-recording basically the episode-ish parts of the live stream I did earlier because the visual quality of that is so bad. It was my first attempt at a live stream. I didn't promote it because I suspected that it would be, you know, a trial and error and that there would definitely be error. I was correct in thinking that. So I'm re-recording so that you don't have to watch something where you can't tell what color anything is. To give you a sense of how bad the colors were in that video, green, which you can see this is green, was showing up as purple. It just did not make any sense. So I'm back to recording with my usual camera, and I am gonna just do this in pieces. So this first bit is gonna be about finished objects and works in progress. I haven't recorded since July, so it's been about 6-7 weeks. I do have a lot of finished objects. I think I mentioned before, I was doing the Make It Challenge, which was, you know, to do 4 objects of 4 different types in the summer in order to win a pizza. So hello, I think I'm winning a pizza. My first finished object is the foot category, so I did a pair of socks. This is the Fredrika socks. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's got cables and twisted rib, so it has a lot of dimension. It also has a heel flap and gusset that is reversed, so rather than do the heel flap, heel turn, and then gusset underneath, from the top down you're actually doing the gusset, heel turn, and heel flap. So it's a different construction. I was really enjoying knitting these. Well, I really enjoyed the first one, and then I got about a third done with the second one, and second sock syndrome kicked in. But I managed to pull myself out of that rut and finish them after I finished the sweater, which was for the garment category of that challenge. So I did 4 items in total. I did something for my head, which was the pressed flowers hat. Here it is. I think I showed this before. I did something for my feet, the Fredrika socks. I did something for my neck, the Cargill cowl. As you can see, I have a lot of ends that have to be woven in, and I'm saving them all up to do it all in one go. Probably in front of the TV. So I've got the Cargill cowl here, nice and stretchy. It's going to be really good in the winter. And then for the sweater category, I did the pattern sweater hug. I'm also teaching this as a class at Cream City Yarn, so really killing 2 birds with 1 stone. If you're in the Milwaukee area and you're looking to knit your first sweater or your first drop shoulder sweater, I would say sign up for the class if there are still slots available. So let me just show you the sweater. Kind of hold it up so you can see it. Yeah, maybe I can model it as well. So this is, like I mentioned, it's a drop shoulder sweater. It's worked from the top down. And the last thing that you knit is the collar. So you're actually casting on here under the collar and knitting down from there. As you can see, you do the back and you pick up stitches for the front. At the very end, you're picking up for the collar. And I think my collar pickup is beautiful, if I say so myself. I don't know that I've ever done such a good job on picking up for a collar. It's very seamless. Okay, so here it is. Ta-da! I'm gonna push this chair back and see if you can see. It is slightly cropped, so it hits high hip. It has a split hem. The sleeves are nice and long, and they're designed to be, you know, kind of more knuckle length. So I shortened the sleeves because I have short arms and I'm a short person, but they are designed to have that kind of long, cozy length. I also did the sleeve decreases a little differently so that I would get a slight balloon here before I did the ribbing, because I have never knit a sweater like that, but I kind of wanted to. And I thought this sweater being such a blank canvas was a good one to do that in. So yeah, it is really just like a sweater hug. It's it's cozy, it's not oversized, but it's roomy, you know, it's got kind of that perfect comfy pullover vibe, and I think I'm gonna get a lot of use out of it in the winter. It is a navy blue. It kind of looks black on the screen, but it's a really deep navy. So it's by the Fibre Company. It's the yarn line Lore, and I think the colorway is called Reliable. So, okay, 5 minutes in, I've talked about a bunch of finished objects. Let me get this off because it is actually kind of chilly today, but not quite DK sweater chilly. Oh, I should tell you about modifications. So I did a few very slight modifications. The sleeve thing that I mentioned, and then the other thing that I did was I A-lined it ever so slightly, which just means that from about the waist part down, I increased just a little bit. So I have about an extra inch. The main reason I wanted to do that is because with a split hem and ribbing, the ribbing tends to cinch up, and I didn't want that split hem to like cinch up too much. So I wanted it a little wider so that it would look very square with the sides of the garment. And I also blocked that pretty aggressively. I didn't do like a super stretchy bind off, but I did, what I usually end up doing when I want a stretchy bind off that doesn't flare is I do like every other stitch in a stretchy bind off method and then others in a regular bind off method. When you're doing like a hemline, it doesn't really matter. No one's like looking at the bottom of your sweater, you know? So, okay. So that is that. All right, that's 4 finished objects. You must be thinking, wow, what a lot of FOs. Well, I did those throughout the summer, so that I finished really in like kind of August. And then I cast on, oh no, wait, sorry. One more finished object. I've been working on this for a while. I just need to weave in ends. It's been blocked already. This is the Woodlands pullover. I knit this for my wife. It has a beautiful like herringbone collar. It has a herringbone hem, and I had to block that pretty hard, I will say, because it just wanted to pull in a lot. And then it has twisted rib on the cuffs. So these cuffs look smaller than what they would if they were regular rib, which is really clever. You get bigger, you have more stitches, but it goes and sucks in like it's fewer. So yeah, I just loved knitting this. I thought Tiff Nealon's design sense was so intriguing. There are things that are kind of not exact mirrors of each other, but sort of mimic each other in this. There was a really interesting, you know, you pick up the stitches in such a way, and you do a 3 needle bind off. So you're picking up for the sleeves, but you're doing a 3 needle bind off here. So you get this like kind of seam here, which was really intriguing. I wonder if I should have done it from the other side to not have the seam, but I think it kind of looks cool like that. And yeah, there's just like a lot of stuff where like, here's an example. The way the stripes are, the colors for the stripes work on the sleeves is like the opposite of how they are on the body. And I just think that is so cool. I've never done one of her patterns before, but I'm into it. So that was a long time whip. I think I started this in January or February of this year. And I had like bought the yarn last year and I had meant to knit it since like 2021. I don't know. Okay, I have one more finished object, which is something that I cast on since I last recorded, and bound off because I knit it pretty much monogamously. So this is my Boneyard shawl by Stephen West. It is this wonderful drapey DK weight shawl. I made mine a little shorter just because I didn't have quite the yardage for the last 2 kind of repeats of this. but I think it's plenty big. I mean, if I stand up, you can see that if I, you know, put it at my neck, it goes down, you know, down to my tum. So I've got quite a lot of length there. I think it's fine. And this is how I'll probably wear it in winter. More like a scarf or a kerchief. It is really pretty. It's really soft. This is Hedgehog Fibers Tweedy. And the yarn is made with like these tweed neps that are made with colors that are left over from what the mill is otherwise spinning, or sometimes people send in their scraps and they just like combine it. So you might buy the same yarn and get a different kind of color sense. So it came out very pink, I think, even though the base is like an undyed grayish color. It still has just like a very pink look to it. So yeah, I must be on like a monogamous knitting kick now, because after finishing this, I haven't really done anything else but my current whip. So I'm working on one project and that's it. I did knit a swatch for another project, but I haven't really been wanting to do much else. So this is my, without further ado, let me share with you my current whip. So this is my sweater vest. The Academic is the name of the pattern. So it's my academic sweater vest, I guess. I think this is a really beautiful pattern. I sort of loved it from the get-go. It's also by Skeindeer Knits, so you know I love her stuff. And I have kind of changed around the way the colors are laid out, in the sense that I'm actually using the darkest color as what was suggested as like the lightest color, but just because I wanted more blue and then just a tiny bit of orange. So you can see there is this tiny little bit of rusty orange, and then there's dark blue, light blue, and gray. See, this is why I'm re-recording, because you would never have seen this in the live stream. This is really nice looking. It is a lot of fun to knit this. I've never done like all over Fair Isle where you know, you continue to do stranded color work throughout the entire body of it. So that's fascinating. And it's a lot slower, but I feel like I also do pretty quick at color work because I'm excited by it. And so I'm like, I want to see what's coming next. So I do sort of, I'm more persistent, and that is a form of speed, if that makes sense. I shortened the bottom hem because when I was looking at other people's projects, I found that I liked that 4 inches of ribbing when it was a dark color. Like if the main color was like a dark brown, that 4 inches of ribbing looked really good and like purposeful. And then when it was, the main color was a light color, it just didn't have the same, I don't know, I just didn't think it served as much of a purpose, because you have a shorter ribbing on the neck and on the sleeves. It made sense with the light colors to shorten the ribbing. So I went ahead and shortened the ribbing. I also don't want to do 4 inches of ribbing if I don't have to. For some projects it's worth it, but like I didn't think that visually it looked better. It kind of looked weird, honestly, because the rest of the body of it is so colorful, and then you just have this like expanse of white at the bottom. I don't know, wasn't into it. But I am going to, you know, probably end up having to like compensate lengthwise just to make up, just so it ends up the right length. So yeah, I'm about halfway done with the first iteration of the chart. The whole sweater vest is only, I think, about 2 chart repeats, which is to say you knit it once and you repeat it once while you're doing, you know, the arm side and the neck shaping and everything. It is knit from the bottom up in the round. You put in steek stitches for the arms and the neck, and then you cut those steeks and you add the collar. So because I'm using a like a really woolly sticky yarn, I'm not too worried about how I'm gonna secure it. I think it will be just fine. I'm not afraid of steeking, and you shouldn't be either. Let me just talk about the yarn that I'm using for this real quickly. So this is Rauma Phenol. The main color is this 403. I think it's just kind of a natural, and it has a heathered effect because there are there's white wool and gray wool mixed together. So that's the main color. These are all of my contrast colors. I've got a gray, this deep like russety orange, and a navy, and a light, not too light, but kind of a medium heathery blue that you can see the undertones in it, that there's like gray, darker gray yarn, or gray wool that's mixed with lighter color wool. So it gives it a really nice heathered look. Same with the rust, you can really see that. There's more than one color. Oh, is that a nice little cat hair stuck to it? This is something you get used to when you have cats, is that there's cat hair on all your yarn and your knitting and whatnot. So yeah, I'm doing these 4 colors with the natural. I kind of want to make a second one, to be honest, and I'm thinking the second one I will do the main color a dark color, probably dark navy, and then I will probably do a longer ribbing, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, so I am having fun. If you have been here for a while, you know that orange is not my color, but I think the orange with the various shades of blue and gray totally works. So one more thing I wanted to show is my friend gave me this project bag for my birthday. It's really large. It's like more like a basket, and then it has a top that cinches so I can carry my stuff everywhere. And this, I think, is contributing to my desire to knit just one project at a time, because I can take this anywhere, which, you know, if you're not super used to color work, I think it's intimidating to like take it with you, because you got to have your chart and you got to have all of your colors, and you have to somehow keep the project from sliding off the needle, etc., etc. But this works really well, and I take this on the bus when I'm going to work, and I just like set it down and knit straight out of it, and it is awesome. So yeah, thank you, Stephanie. This is really great. Okay, I have about 10 minutes, I think, so I'll just share a little bit more. I did a little fiber retreat with some friends. One of my friends has a family who has a cabin, and a bunch of her friends, including myself, were invited to just sort of hang out for a long weekend and sew and knit and whatever. So I started my Battenberg quilt that I've been wanting to make for a while. So this is really just a very simple basic quilt pattern where you're taking light and dark blocks. Usually it's like white and pink, or white and, you know, various colors, and you're just doing these like 9-patch blocks, and then you put those blocks together. And I have a whole bunch of fabrics that some I bought specifically for this, and others that are, you know, from other stuff or past purchases that I didn't have a plan for. And, you know, as you can see, like my interpretation of a white block includes things like this that are white with a pattern on them. But I love this pattern with the bird. I'm just having a really good time making these. I made 27 of them that weekend, which is pretty amazing. I need like 58, I think, or maybe 56. But yeah, I was just quilting or sewing away and having a jolly good time. About let's see, that was the first weekend of September, and then the second weekend of September was the Sheep and Wool Festival. So I went to that with my friend and I bought a ton of yarn, which I'm not going to share all of it again, but I shared some in the live stream. If you don't mind crappy video quality, you can see it there, but I will just share two things I got because it has to do with what I'm going to be making this fall. So I have a plan, roughly, that I will make 3 things this fall. 2 are vests. So the one I'm working on, the academic, the second is the Hobbiton vest by Fable Knitwear, and the third is the DeLovely skirt by Skeindeer Knits. So these are all things I wanted to make for a while, and after the Make It Challenge, I really had kind of like 2 urges. One, to knit things one at a time again, just go back to monogamous knitting, and then 2, to try to switch up the kinds of things I make, because I finished, you know, like a summer t-shirt that I knitted, and then like 2 sweaters, and you know, rather than do shawl, sweater, I thought, let's do something different. Let's do vests. I mean, I need vests, I need transitional pieces, and then let's do a skirt, right? So when I was at the Sheep and Wool Festival, I picked up these yarns. Now these come from different booths, so I'll just tell you about each of them separately. This is Bumblebee Acres Fiber Farm. This is their Luxe Flock Sock. So it's 80% non-superwash Cormo wool and 20% silk. It's a 3-ply fingering weight, whatever that means. I mean, I know that it means there are 3 plies, but I don't usually see fingering weight that's 3-ply. I don't know why. But anyway, so it is very squishy and soft. If you've knit with Cormo, you know it's a squishy one. And this is for the Hobbiton vest. So it's this really beautiful greeny gold kind of, it's got a little bit of brown and gold like tones in it. Really like earthy, foresty vibes, and I'm thinking it's gonna be very cute. And it's also just very like classic, in keeping with like the color scheme of what hobbits wear and what that, you know, the pattern picture for the vest. Then I picked up this silken mohair from Utopia, and this has a lot more color variation in it. It's got gold, it's got green, it's got a little bit of like bronzy colors, and even some green that leans a little blue, a little sprucey, you know. So yeah, again, very foresty, and I am hoping that these don't cancel each other out or blur each other too much, but rather that they look really beautiful together, because that vest is just a very simple, for the middle ranges of sizes, you're doing like 1 skein of each fingering and mohair, like a lace weight mohair, and it's all over seed stitch at a pretty loose gauge, so I think that one will go really quickly. The other yarn I got, also green, is this Juniper Moon Farm Patagonia, which is what's recommended for the DeLovely skirt. It's in the colorway Seaweed, which I have always really liked. I felt like because the skirt has a very vintage vibe, I would go for a vintagey kind of shade. I think my favorite probably historic aesthetic is like 1940s, you know, Rosie the Riveter, Victory Gardens, you know, menswear influenced women's wear, all of that stuff. So I went for this because it has kind of a military green vibe, and I think it will just be a really nice neutral for winter. I have this thing too about like in winter, everything is gray outside, so I don't necessarily want to wear a lot of gray or like neutrals that are like too colorless. I like navy and I like, you know, olive and stuff more. And I also think things like houndstooth and plaid are neutrals, like, you know what I mean? Like you could totally wear like a something else patterned with that. I mean, I think you can. So anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna be making another vest and a skirt. I got 5 skeins of this. I hope it's enough. If not, I'll just have a shorter skirt and that's okay. I have short legs, so I think it will be just fine. Okay, I think that's all I have to share right now. I will probably do another video in the near future just to finish off the rest, but maybe I won't, because I feel like I've shared quite a bit already. So thank you for watching. As always, watch the live stream if you want. If you don't, I won't be offended. I don't want to watch it myself. So yeah, have a wonderful day. All right, bye.